Eichmann wasn't a monster. He was terrifyingly normal. Those were the words of political theorist Hannah Arendt when she observed one of the architects of the Holocaust during his trial. He didn't growl. He didn't shout. He didn't even seem particularly angry. He looked like the man you'd see behind a desk, typing reports. A man who obeyed orders, filled out paperwork, and helped orchestrate the murder of millions. Today we're diving into the unsettling question: why do good people do bad things? What makes an ordinary person, like you or me, capable of committing acts of unspeakable cruelty? Hannah Arendt introduced a chilling idea: the banality of evil. Evil doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it's boring, bureaucratic, silent. Eichmann didn't carry out the killings himself. He managed logistics, he signed forms, he made sure the trains ran on time. The trains that led to Auschwitz. When questioned, he claimed, "I was just following orders." And terrifyingly, he meant it. This wasn't some unhinged lunatic. He was a man following the rules of a system that rewarded obedience over conscience. And that's where the story gets even darker. In the 1960s, psychologist Stanley Milgram asked a simple, yet horrifying question: could the Holocaust happen again in America? To find out, he designed an experiment. Volunteers were told to administer electric shocks to another person, a stranger, whenever they answered a question incorrectly. The shocks weren't real, but the screams were. And as the voltage increased, the screams turned into desperate pleas. "Let me out! I can't take this anymore!" Yet the man in the lab coat would simply say, "Please continue." And most people did. 65% went all the way to the highest voltage, 450 volts. Why? Because an authority figure told them to. Because they believed the responsibility wasn't theirs. Because when evil wears a white coat, it's hard to recognize. Then came the Stanford prison experiment. 24 college students were split into guards and prisoners in a fake jail. Within hours, the guards became cruel. Within days, the prisoners broke down. The line between role play and reality vanished. Guards humiliated, punished, and dehumanized their peers. The experiment, scheduled for 2 weeks, was shut down in just 6 days. The lesson? It's not just about bad apples. It's about the barrel, the system we're placed in. When the environment is toxic, when authority gives permission, even the kindest among us can change. So what does this mean for us? It means that evil isn't always the product of a twisted soul. Sometimes it's the product of a system, a machine that rewards obedience and punishes dissent. Consider a soldier who drops bombs, never seeing the faces below, or a corporate executive who greenlights a product they know is unsafe, or even an employee who stays silent when a colleague is harassed. Are they evil, or are they trapped inside a structure that encourages compliance over conscience? Psychologist Albert Bandura identified mechanisms that help people justify harmful behavior. One is dehumanization, seeing others as less than human. Another is diffusion of responsibility, telling ourselves, "It's not my job," or "someone else will stop it." And then there's moral justification, convincing ourselves that the ends justify the means. These mental tricks let us sleep at night, even when our hands aren't entirely clean.
But here's the good news. If systems can turn good people bad, they can also empower good people to do extraordinary good. It starts with awareness. Recognizing when we're being pulled into roles that don't align with our values. It continues with courage, the kind it takes to say no when everyone else says yes. And most importantly, it involves empathy. Because the more human we see each other as, the harder it becomes to cause harm. Even in the darkest systems, there have always been people who resisted. People who chose to be human, when it was easier to be obedient. So ask yourself, what would I have done, if I were there? Because history shows us that evil doesn't always come with horns. Sometimes, it comes with a smile, and a job to do. But now that you know, you have a choice.